Hello, it's Brian, and I'm back. Until we figure out an intro, I'm going to just have random shit I say to get your guys' attention. Episode 2, Season 8. 8 seasons of the Til You Collapse Podcast. 8 seasons. It's a long time.
That is a long time.
Yeah. Is that 8 years almost?
Well, I think it's about there, yeah.
Yeah. So I've had the podcast for almost 8 years. That's a pretty long time. That's longer than a lot of people commit to things. So
It's longer than most TV shows now.
yeah, seriously. So you guys, Kyle wants to do the format again where he asks me questions. I think you guys like that, but I want to just talk to you guys about something first and read something because it's really important to me as I transition. I told you guys Til You Collapse is going to transition to a badass, dark, nitty-gritty men's brand, kind of back to our roots. But I posted something on social media, and the caption is something that really means something to me. It's really kind of explaining what the brand is about and the direction it's going. And I really want it something to be that you guys hear. Because I typed it out on social media, and who knows who read it, but I want to get a good clip of it actually verbalized, put it out in the universe, and have a video of it, have it sight, sound, all that kind of stuff, right? So, because I've talked about you guys, if you guys have goals and you guys are trying to do big things, you have to write it down. You have to verbalize it. You have to visualize it. Touch, smell, taste, whatever, as much as you can to make that dream a reality. So, if you guys have goals and you guys are just thinking about them, write them down, speak them, talk about them, tell someone, make a video about it, because you know what? That makes them that much more real when you do that, as opposed to just some kind of silent thought in your head that's been there for years that maybe you're going to hope is going to come to fruition, but it's not going to come to fruition until you actually start writing it, visualizing it, verbalizing it. It's a quick little tip. So, Til You Collapse in about 60 days is the goal for the first men's launch. We're going to transition to the new women's brand, and then Til You Collapse is going to be the men's brand. And this is a little blurb that I typed up and I thought about kind of pertaining to the brand and where it's going. And I want you guys to hear it. I want you guys to see it. I think this will be a good clip. So, a new era. 15 years ago, Til You Collapse was built on one simple belief. Show up, work hard, never quit. The idea built more than a clothing company. It built a community. It built friendships. It built a family. Over the years, trends came and went. The fitness industry changed. Brands chased algorithms, influencers, and whatever was popular that month. We didn't. Because Til You Collapse was never supposed to be just another apparel brand. It was always meant to represent something bigger. Over the next several months, you're going to see a different Til You Collapse. More focused, more intentional, more premium. Not built for everyone. Definitely not built for everyone. Built for the men who refuse average. For the fathers leading by example. For the entrepreneurs who work long after everyone goes home. I know a little bit about that. For the athletes who train when no one's watching. For the first responders, the veterans, the craftsmen, and every man who understands that respect isn't given. It's earned. We're not chasing fashion. We're building a uniform. A uniform for the man who emptied the tank. This isn't a rebrand. This is a line in the sand. If you know, you know. Welcome to the standard. So that's kind of the line, the direction the brand's going. It's very powerful. It means something. I want you guys to feel something when you wear these clothes. The meaning, that kind of energy, I want to translate through the clothes. I know I have a lot of women that watch this stuff as well. So if you have sons, husbands, brothers, your support is so appreciated. So if you resonate with that, just help me spread the word. Right, Kyle?
I like it.
You like it?
No, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I really like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to see where that goes because that's what you've been talking about from the beginning.
Yeah.
And something that I wanted to talk to you about today was how brands stand out through the saturation, and I think that message is what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Well, that's just what it is. I mean, there's so many brands kind of doing the same thing, but with no really meaning behind them.
Correct.
And you just got to double down and triple down on a real meaning, something that resonates with you. And like I said, this brand has 15 years of history. It's not some new brand. So just double down on the history, double down on the meaning. And I think, something that I lacked before is just continuously resonating the message. You know what I mean? Like, assuming that if I said it once, they're going to know. And that's just a tip for all you guys in your business, whatever you're doing. You could never make enough content. You could never speak about your message enough, because the way the social media is and algorithms are, as much as you think you already said it, you didn't, because someone new is going to see it. One of your followers that didn't see it before is going to see it. So over deliver your message. Okay. And if someone doesn't like it, they can fucking unfollow you. Fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, if you're passionate about the message and it's something that you're trying to build, you can never speak it enough, if that makes sense. And that's something that I need to do more of. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm here growing and sharing with you guys, and I have a brand 15 years, but I can share the message more. And I'm going to, literally, like multiple times a week. So if you guys don't like it, I'm sorry.
That's part of why he brought me back.
Yeah. So, what do you want to talk about this episode, Kyle?
Well, I got some good stuff for you, but first, let's talk a little bit about the message. I like what you said, where Til You Collapse is not going to be chasing the trend, because, like you said, it's fast fashion.
Yeah,
fast fashion. Everybody's like, oh, 3 months, I found this new brand, I want to try it once, and then they're like, oh, there's this other brand,
yeah.
right? I think if you build it, they'll come.
Yeah, that's the problem with apparel is it's always that new brand, hot brand, trendy brand. But I think if we just stick to our roots and stick to our values, deliver a high quality product, guys are. I mean, you know how we are with fashion. I mean, we wear holy underwear and socks and T-shirts from 10 years ago. So, I mean, that's reality, and that's real. Like I literally have, new shit next to old worn shit, and I picked the old worn shit. So it's just guys, it's general nature, how we're wired. But I think if men resonate with the message, they're gonna want to wear it.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna overcomplicate things. We're not gonna make crazy shit. We're gonna make high quality apparel that is gonna represent the message.
That's actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's kind of some stuff I wanted to talk about with you. In the apparel world, this is your world. You've been in it for a very, very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody claims their stuff is quality. Mm-hmm. Everybody. They're like, whoa, we're the top quality this, we're the top quality. Even Amazon products, they say, oh, we're the top quality this, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think that genuinely, that top quality means for people? Why would somebody want to purchase a $40 shirt versus a $20 shirt on Amazon?
It's just, I mean, when you look at apparel, $40 versus $20, as long as genuinely, here's the thing, there's two different ways you can go. Somebody can make a $20 shirt and price it at $20, and it's crazy quality, and they really don't make much money. And there's some brands out there doing that, just to kind of trying to take over the market. It's hard to sustain a business like that if you're really building something high quality and charging a low price for it. You're not really going to make much profit, and you're not going to really be able to grow the company. But you're offering something very high quality for a very low price, which is extreme value. And some of these brands are out there doing that, and they're really disrupting the industry and making it hard for a lot of people, because something that costs $20 to make, we're just using made up numbers, by the way, guys, but something theoretically that costs $20 to make that's very high quality, you sell it for 40, you're not really making crazy profit there. But something that costs $20 to make versus 10, the quality is for sure noticeable, as far as how long it's going to last, how it's going to hold up in the wash, how it's going to feel on your body, how it's going to look on your body. So typically higher quality definitely looks better, feels better, holds up better. So it's definitely worth the extra money if you care about stuff like that. You can see and feel the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of people are trying to get to, right? They're trying to get to, we actually genuinely do have the high quality. But you have to invest in that as a business owner.
You have to. The problem, here's the problem. In this day and age, and this is the one thing I currently struggle with, it's rough out there for a lot of us. I get it. Inflation, everything's more expensive than ever. Companies don't take care of their people. I mean, 2% increases. I mean, that's not even enough to cover the rate of inflation. So people are struggling. So the masses are looking for lower cost options because that's all they can afford. So the problem what it's doing in the industry is it's people, a lot of people physically can't afford higher quality. They want higher quality, but they can't afford it.
Right.
And that's the reality of the day and age we live in right now, the way the economy is, the way the world is. So the problem is, if you want to position yourself as a quality brand, high value brand, luxury brand, you're really investing in expensive manufacturing, because like I said, you can get shit from manufacturer for $5, you can get a manufacturer for $10, $15, $20, $30, all across the board. And definitely there's a big jump in quality as your manufacturing actually raises, and then you pass that on the consumer. Obviously you got to have a certain amount of profit margins and what you're going to charge, and you got to figure that out based on how you're trying to grow and run your business. But what I'm saying is, the problem is the high-end market is very niche right now because the masses are struggling. So they're looking for, what can I get for best quality, for best value? Right. That's kind of like the sweet spot for the market right now. Right. So, we've struggled with it with TYC. Our leggings are $60. Lulu and Aloe are $100, $130. And then there's brands that are $20 to $30, Amazon, TikTok, that are actually high quality. That's what I'm talking about. So that's what really kind of killed us, and it's killing Aloe and Lulu. You still get the people that buy that shit. That's like the niche people, though. As far as if you look at their earnings, if you look at the money, they're way down.
Right. Everyone's just down.
Everyone's down.
It's almost a race to the bottom at this point.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with this industry and this product, I feel like it depends on your product and your niche. But with this industry, there's such a variance between pricing. You figure $18 to $160. That's a big difference.
It's huge.
And the crazy thing is, the lower price options have very similar quality to the higher price options.
Right.
They can.
Yeah. And that didn't used to be that way. It used to be, for sure, I know I'm buying this $20 product. It's probably going to rip, break, fade, whatever, as time goes on. But now, it's like there's actually a good chance it might last longer than you thought.
That's the crazy thing about, like, as far as the apparel industry, leggings and that kind of stuff. So it's definitely something we've been struggling with because, consumers, they don't want to pay $60 for leggings anymore. Right. That's why we've been having to run big sales to even push volume, because they're conditioned by all these lower price options.
Right. This is true game.
Yeah,
that's fire.
No, it is for sure. Yeah,
like Brian, I don't know if you guys know, Brian's putting you guys on game.
Yeah,
right now.
100%. Yeah.
And so, like, again, onto that. This is kind of a based-in question, but having a good product, it's not enough anymore. You have to do more than just have a good product.
Yeah, right. I mean, a good product is a staple. I mean, you have to. I mean, you're not going to stay in business if you don't. I mean, there's been a lot of businesses back in the day that they were able to stay in business even without a good product. But now, with the way consumers are and the way social media is and all that kind of stuff, like, you have to have a top quality product. That's just to get in the door.
Yeah. Where do you fit in between the expectations of consumers rising? Right. Their expectations are rising. The barrier to entry, in a sense of quality, is now gone up from where it used to be, versus the ability to purchase quality at a lower level. Where would you like to position yourself?
Well, what you just said is something that's kind of frustrating, because consumers, and this is just real talk, I love my clients, I love my customers, they're my everything. I go above and beyond with customer service. I've been backwards for these people. But the problem that we're noticing is consumer expectations are at an all-time high. So they want more than ever for less than ever. So it's a difficult position to be in, because it's like, you know, you get these consumers that are over here expecting the world for pennies, and usually it doesn't work like that, you know. And it's hard because you want to take care of everyone the best you can, but if you don't even have enough money to keep your lights on because everyone's expecting crazy value, what do you do? You know, and the thing is every niche market is different businesses, different products have different expectations. But as we're talking about apparel right now, because I have an apparel brand. I have multiple businesses, but we're just strictly talking about apparel right now.
Yeah. I mean, I actually think that it's every industry.
Yeah.
Even if you talk about service-based industries.
Like services, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
talk
feel
about
the best. I feel the worst for them.
Yeah, like personal trainers.
Like, I mean, not even that, but I'm talking more service, like with tips and stuff like that. Like people don't even want to tip anymore. It's crazy.
That shit's crazy, dude. Like,
yeah.
I was raised on, like, you better freaking tip.
Yeah. I mean, that's how these people make a living, you know? And it's like consumers are, I don't know.
Fickle.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's just almost like they're struggling as like we talked about.
Yeah.
And it's like they want to go out and they don't want to tip. And it's like, then don't go out. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, because it's just like, you know, it's a reflection of, you know, of them.
Well, it's a top-down problem. We know that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But also, you're right. Like, you just spent $100 on a meal. I don't think that $20 is going to kill you.
Yeah.
You knew that was in your budget. It's almost at this level of, oh, I have to save my money, but only when it works for me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, here's the reality that people don't realize. If you're honestly struggling that much where you can't leave a decent tip, you shouldn't go out to eat. You should be cooking your own food, meal prepping your own food. You will get a lot more value out of your meals by doing that. So why, if you don't have money to tip, then why are you not cooking your own food? Right?
I like that.
So
That's good. That's fair.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, she's saying lock the door.
Yeah. Are you leaving? Oh. Oh, yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're talking about this because I think you have a lot more knowledge. You do talk a lot about just motivation, hustle, mindset, but there's a lot of business knowledge that you have that I think I want to extract
and
from
the crazy thing about my business knowledge is I'm street smart, not book smart. And what I mean by that is all my knowledge is by actually doing. Like, I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I never had any business experience. I just fucking dove in, and I've been in the game for 16 plus years. So anything I talk about is practical knowledge that I've actually done and learned from years in the game, which I think is priceless because, you know, you get so many people that can read books and they have all this information and they follow all these people and they've never actually done it. And there's big difference between doing it and thinking you can do it because you have a bunch of shit that you read from a book in your head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's funny. We can cut this out if you don't want to leave it in. I'm just going to talk about something.
Yeah.
You know that I'm also working on an apparel brand.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
When I was building this, this is no lie.
Yeah.
I was like, let me remember all the stuff that Brian talked about
when
I was working with him.
Yeah.
Because it's a valuable statement when you're in it. Dude, like samples, working with manufacturers. How much, like when I saw that my production cost was going to be $20, I was like, oh fuck, I genuinely have to price this at like $60.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thought to think about.
Yeah.
I just never thought about it that high level of like, damn.
And you don't got to cut that out. This is, I mean, everything on this podcast I want to leave in, you know? So, leave all this in.
I don't know. I just didn't want to.
It's fine.
My more thing is I was reminiscing on the fact that like you're talking about, you theoretically could listen to every podcast in the world that you want to and be like, yeah, I'm ready to build this.
Yeah.
And then when you see those numbers in there, you're like,
no,
this is way different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have one thing for you. Do you think, is there an apparel trend right now that's happening that you think is going to die?
I don't know. I'm not really on the trends, believe it or not.
Kind of going back to what you just talked about.
I'm not that trendy of a guy. I'm a pretty simple guy, honestly. I think that I think what's going to happen is there's a lot of people that got in apparel because it was easy and low cost to get into. And everybody goes for easy and low cost. And the profit margin was high. It's always been high in apparel. But apparel is getting harder. Apparel is getting harder with less profits. So I think as far as what initially attracted all these people to apparel is evolving. And a lot of people are going to fall out because they're going to realize this shit's harder than I thought. I'm not making as much money as I thought. So I think you're going to see brands starting to die off, all these kind of random brands popping up. They may last a few years, but as, the interest in their brand dies, because that happens, quickly, and when the next brand comes out, right? Yep. And as they're realizing this is hard and they're not really making much profit, then they're going to be like, they're going to look for something else.
Right.
So move on. I think that's going to be a trend is you're going to see not as many brands because like in business and life and anything, really the magic is in outlasting. Like who can outlast? Like who can stay in business the longest? Because 16 years in business is crazy for any business. Most businesses don't make it past the first year. So that's the reality. In life and business, it's the outlast game. You guys are looking for so much secrets and shit like that. Just put your head down and get done what needs to get done and outlast everybody. Because a lot of people are going to quit. It's easy to quit, right?
Yeah. Do you think we're probably approaching the top of the curve for maybe apparel at this point?
Oh yeah.
And then as it starts to drop, those that outlast will be back at the bottom again. Therefore, they'll probably stand out more.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like a circle. You know what I mean? Yeah, cycle. Yeah. Cycle, not circle. Circle, cycle, same difference. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's real. Everything goes through that cycle. You know what I mean? For a while there, I think it was 2016. Even still now, but everybody and their great grandmother had a marketing agency.
Oh yeah.
Everybody, right? They're like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, right? And then they started realizing, like the fact that I get you more views doesn't mean I got you more customers.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, I'm out. Yep.
Yeah. Now you have AI coming in, changing the game with that.
Oh, dude.
Dude. So, yeah, it's really with any business, man. I feel like, yeah.
What do apparel companies mostly misunderstand about their customers?
I think they misunderstand a lot of times what they actually want. And I've kind of learned that from all the different releases I've had and releasing stuff that, what I would encourage you guys to do, any business you have, anything, just communicate with your customers, talk with your customers. It's crazy in business that people don't really talk with their customers. Ask them what they want. It really may seem simple, but if you really think about your business, or if you think about, you can directly contact your customers and ask them what they want as a consensus and then give them what they want. It's not rocket science, but it's something that a lot of brands don't do. And you see like all kinds of businesses, like they have all these options and all this shit, and their people don't even want all those options. It's almost like, the person running the company thinks it's going to be a good idea. Maybe that person wants all the options, but like in the reality, the people that are purchasing from you don't want options. They want one or two things that you do amazing, not, 15 things that you do mediocre. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I think people, right? Oh, let me offer this product. Let me offer this like type, right? Oh, I'm an apparel brand. Let me get into supplements, right? Like all different SKUs. Yeah. Right? You're saying that I think if you're good at one or two things.
And one thing I want to talk about, I know this is just random, but this is how the podcast is. I don't want this to be an apparel podcast because Kyle's only asking apparel questions. I'm
getting into something different.
I think he's just trying to get info for his company. That's fine.
Oh, my God.
That's fine. It's okay. I love Kyle. Crazy. But I know a lot of you listeners are maybe not worried about apparel companies. But what I want to talk about now... Look at he's turning red. I don't care. I'll give you all the game you want because I want to see you be successful. It's okay, buddy. Listen, what I want to talk about right now is something that's been bothering me, and I've been wanting to make a video about it. I'm still going to make like a selfie video about it, but I also want to have this clip, and I want it on the podcast. as a parent, as a father, this is totally out of left field, but this is something that I want to fucking talk about because I can't stand this shit. And I know a lot of you guys are parents and a lot of you guys struggle. So I've been a father for 19 years. I have 4 kids. And something that's crazy to me is, and I've talked about it before, is this whole idea of a dad bod. And it really fires me the fuck up because it's like you become a father, you're supposed to protect and provide, and you have a new person that you gave life to with someone else. And then the idea that you become lazy, fat, weak, out of shape because you have a child and you use that as an excuse to lay off your responsibility of keeping yourself healthy mentally and physically is something that drives me crazy, that society almost encourages it, I feel like, and it's become the norm. And my question to you, especially you men that listen to this, fathers, is you're the example for your sons and daughters, number one. And number two, if your job is to protect your children and your family at all costs, if this was in medieval times, this was back in the day when shit was wild, you think a fat, lazy, weak man is the best way to protect your family and your child? Because the mindset that I had a child, let me just fuck off my responsibilities of being healthy, fit, strong, and now I have a kid, so yeah, they take up extra time, so I don't got time to invest in myself, and that's the norm. When it should be the opposite. You should be like, I need to be my best, I need to be my strongest, I need to be my fastest, I need to be my most dangerous to protect this child I brought into the world. It should be the opposite mindset. So I just don't get how society has transitioned in that direction, and us as men allow it. Because, you know, our job, old school job, is to protect and provide. And you think you'd be a better protector, stronger, faster, healthier? Or are you a better protector, weaker, fatter, slower? And I'm sorry if it hurts and I'm being kind of raw, but it's the reality of it. And here's another thing, and women, you may not like me for this. This is my take on this, and I may be wrong, but when women say they prefer a dad bod, I think that's fucking bullshit. You don't prefer a dad bod. Because a lot of the times the man you were attracted to, the man you married, the man that you found when you both were single, typically when you're single, you're trying to be your best. That's when most people are in their best shape, looking their best, feeling their best, because they're single. They're trying to attract a mate. So that mindset of you're single, you're trying to attract a mate, you're probably eating healthy, you're probably working out, you're probably, when you meet, you're probably in the best shape of your life, right? And that you're attracted to him then. I mean, that's why, one of the reasons why you guys got together. But I think the real reason why women say they prefer dad bod to a fit, healthy, strong man, typically the guy you were initially attracted to, was honestly, and I know you're going to hate me for this, is your own insecurities, honestly. Because, you know, if your man slacks off, then you can slack off. And maybe you want to be the better one looking. Maybe you don't want women or other people looking at your man because he looks good. As far as like, you know what I mean? It's easy to say, yeah, I prefer that. That's better. When in reality, deep down, I mean, come on. I mean, I don't prefer that. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So I think that we all got to work on each other. We all got to hold ourselves and our spouses to higher standards because, you know, and like I said, you know, obesity and overweight and all this kind of stuff is worse than ever. Another thing, sorry, same topic, Kyle. This is my passion. One thing that I just can't stand as parents is when you're enabling and facilitating children that are extremely overweight. You know, and I'm talking like, you know, extremely overweight. And the thing is, you are the parent. You are their protector. You are their provider. You're the one that brought them into life. They don't have money to feed themselves. They're not feeding themselves. You are feeding them the food that is causing them to be extremely unhealthy. And you're also setting up habits. You're also setting up physical and mental issues for these children that once they become to a certain age and they start becoming making fun of, they start getting depression because of the way they look and feel, just realize that's you as a parent facilitating that. And then these kids, when they get old enough to realize themselves, like, hey, I don't want to look like this. I don't want to feel like this. You know the kind of work they have to put in to reverse that? And I'm talking like 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds overweight, like extremely overweight. And like I said, you may not like what I'm saying, but it's reality. And again, it's us on parents to protect and provide. And if you're protecting, are you protecting and providing when you're causing your children unhealthy habits because of what you're handing them to eat? Because they have to eat what you get them. They don't have a job. They don't have money. They don't have a way to get food. So how are they getting all this food that they're eating that's making them extremely unhealthy? You're either eating it with them or you eat healthy and you're feeding your kids something unhealthy, which I've seen that too, which makes zero sense. Sorry, I had to get those couple things off my chest, Kyle.
No, cool.
I know it's not your little apparel topic, but it's something that I need to talk about on the podcast because this podcast is about life, and I know a lot of people relate to that. Perfect. What do you think about that shit?
I agree. I mean, it is very, very depressing for me to go out and about and see fat kids. Like, I'm talking kids, like young kids, like elementary school kids.
Yes.
And their life is set up negatively already.
Yes.
They're going to have to overcome that when they're finally reach the age where like, oh shit, I'm fat.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks.
It does.
And I was fortunate enough to be raised with somewhat of a fitness mindset.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine what it would be like having to be 28, 29, having to refigure that out.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I mean, and for me, like, you know, I talk about my past. I was an overweight kid. I was thick. I was chubby. I wasn't to that extreme. Like, I lost, 40, 50 pounds. But I wasn't, like, extremely overweight. But I'm talking more about the kids that are extremely overweight that, like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Even 40 to 50 pounds is... Yeah. I think there's I really like what you said earlier about if you're enabling your spouse to be they're unhealthy, maybe that reflects on you. I don't think...
It's a conversation a lot of people don't want to have because, like I said, there's a lot of insecurity, unfortunately, men and women, especially in relationships, when I think really the goal of a relationship is to empower each other, support each other, lift each other up, push each other to be each other's best self, not, enable someone to be their worst self because it makes you feel better about yourself.
Oof. Yeah.
And that is harsh reality of a lot of relationships.
Even buried, they might not realize it, right?
Yeah. And like I said, and it's men and women. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Like, it also, like I said, it deep rooted in confidence. Like, you should want your partner and spouse to mentally and physically be their best and look their best and have pride in that. Like, you have an attractive spouse that takes care of themselves, and yeah, people are going to look at that, but know that that's your partner and have pride in that. That's mine. Yes. Hell yes. Like, not like the opposite, let me empower you to be out of shape and ugly because that makes me feel better because I don't have to worry about people looking at you. But really, is that what you really want, or is that just making you feel better a certain type of way? That's not healthy.
Yeah. I think, do you think it's just as unhealthy as those that do get a good body because they want the attention? Think about that.
I mean, I think a lot of people want attention. It's human nature.
Sure.
So human nature is attention. There's unhealthy attention, and there's people that do unhealthy things with the attention. Doing things just for attention is unhealthy. I think like if you, and we're talking about fitness right now, if you eat healthy and you work out a bunch and you look amazing, especially as you get older, because we've talked about how that's harder, right?
Yep.
I think if you do that, you put in the work required that takes, there's some pride in that. So pride and confidence I think that's healthy. Yeah. I think, but what you're talking about is over the top attention, either like in what they wear. You know, there's definitely certain things. I get what you're talking about. Like if you wear just totally.
We know that there are people out there that they recognize like, oh, I've got a good body. Mm-hmm. I know what kind of attention I can get from this.
Yes.
And they will never admit it ever. Mm-hmm. But you can tell by the way they post, the way they act, the way they do this. Mm-hmm. Right? I think that's just as unhealthy as saying like, oh, I'm going to make sure that my spouse or my girlfriend or boyfriend is unhealthy so that way I don't have to worry about them getting attention.
Yeah.
Now, those two go together.
Yeah, they do.
Because you can work out and be healthy for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I think everyone that is really into working out and exercise, it's two-pronged. So me as a kid, I talked about it before, like I wanted to get girls. How do you get girls? You attract girls. Like, what are girls attracted to? They're not typically attracted to big guts. They're attracted to abs. And that, I mean, that's just reality. As a kid, 30 years ago, whatever, that's what I thought. So a lot of times being healthy and exercising can be rooted in a more superficial place, which can be looked as negative, but I don't think it's negative if it drives you to change your life. Because there's nothing wrong about wanting to look good and feel good. Like I said, there's nothing wrong about wanting to drive a Lamborghini. I just think everyone's different, and kind of how far they take it dictates whether or not it's unhealthy, because I wanted to look good to attract the opposite sex as a kid. So that drove me into weightlifting. That drove me into changing my life mentally and physically. But now as I'm older, yes, I like looking good, but I care about being healthy and longevity more about looking good. So I think that comes with maturity, the way I see it.
There it is. You have more than just one pillar that you're building your foundation on. If you have stuck with, I just want to look good, that's all I care about.
Yeah. I mean, and some people do that, and then you get into the whole world of extreme surgeries and all this kind of stuff, and then people that do that kind of stuff just don't even want to put the work. They want to skip all that and just, and that's human nature. Like we said, everyone wants a shortcut, quick pill, magic pill. Like that's what everyone wants, The
Ozempics.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that.
Yeah.
And I know we're having a real conversation.
Yeah.
The only reason I want to talk about apparel really was because I don't think that you had positioned yourself often as like that level of of
I appreciate. I got to talk about that more, and I think as we do more podcasts and more clips, and we just be aware of talking about that more, but especially as the new men's brand comes out. I agree. Yeah, it's good.
I think people need to know that you have 15 years in the apparel industry.
For sure.
That's huge.
Yeah, which I downplay sometimes, but
you do a lot of motivation, and motivation is great. And and you do give a lot of people the ability to, okay, when I'm done with this podcast, I feel fired up.
Yeah.
But what I want people to do too is
value.
I feel at the end of this podcast, I'm going to go try something.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
I listened to the Til You Collapse podcast. I listened to Brian. It's like, okay, I want to go try something.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. And I think that comes from value.
Yeah, it's always value. So I mean, I try to give as much value as possible, but I do see what you mean. It's just transitioning the content to not so much like fire you up, but more of like tangible value, so that you can do this to get X result.
There's so much going on in the business
and
world.
I just think that's how we frame it, and this
I like it.
I get it. Yeah, no, I agree.
I like what you said about fatherhood though. That is a pillar of your content that I believe is now being divided in a good way.
Yeah.
Way more than it used to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We should do more of it.
I agree.
Do more of it. Yeah.
Well, because you do have those people that are like, I love the dad bod.
I mean, but do they really? Like I said,
I'm curious.
No, they don't, man.
You don't think so? Anybody?
They don't. Trust me.
Oh, I believe you.
You can see it in their eyes.
They look at it, they're like, yeah, great.
I tell you, it's a facade. It's a facade. You keep telling yourself a lie. If you want to do that, that's on you. But, you have this here and this here. Which one you going for?
Right.
When no one's watching. When no one's watching.
Gee, there it is.
You're going for this or that. I promise you're going for the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, she might have a dad bod husband, but her search history says something different.
Hey, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, you guys. Everybody is amazing in all shapes and sizes. I'm not saying you have to have abs to be healthy. There's a lot of people that don't have abs that are healthy. I mean, that low of body fat is not the pinnacle of health. That's more extreme. Just being real. So I'm just saying, you know, whatever you feel good at, whatever you feel confident, you're confident, you feel good, you look good. As long as it's not in the unhealthy ranges, because I definitely think there's this whole body movement where they're empowering stuff that physically is not healthy, medically is not healthy. And that's great that you're happy and confident like that, but in reality, it's don't glamorize that because it's not healthy physically and medically. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, there's plenty of people, you know, 20% body fat and under that's still healthy. And maybe you don't want to be that extreme under 10% body fat, which for a lot of people takes a crazy amount of work. So for the record, I'm not saying that that's what everyone has to be. Everyone has their own definition of health and goals.
Well, there's a difference between body positivity and just acceptance.
Yeah. I think nowadays, you know, acceptance and body positivity, it's kind of extreme.
Yeah.
You know, they show people that are obese and they glamorize it. And it's a whole nother topic in itself. But, you know, honestly, like I said, I've been in the industry for 28 years. I've helped thousands of people lose 100 pounds. This is my passion. Like, helping people feel and look their best is something I truly is my number one passion. That's what drives everything for me. So, you know, and I've helped a lot of people feel amazing and look amazing. So when I'm here saying it, like, you know, it's not healthy to be 25-35% body fat plus. Like, that's not healthy. Don't glamorize that. You're gonna die early. It's not maybe. It's a fact. So, you know, I don't know. I just don't like the fact that a lot of these industries glamorize it and promote it because it's not good. It's not healthy. And like I said, for someone to, if someone is happy with themselves and confident like that, that's amazing. I mean, I respect that, but just know it's still not healthy.
Look, you can be happy and confident with yourself and know you have places to go.
Yeah. I mean, confidence is one thing. You know, I love confidence. Confidence at all shapes and sizes. I fucking all about it, dude. I mean, I love that. But also know that you're working towards something. We're not even talking about superficial. We're just talking about health now. So, yeah. Anyways, you got any more questions? Or
well,
we
let's talk.
up?
I mean, do you want to wrap up? Or do you want to keep going?
How long? What time is it?
We're looking at 45 minutes.
Okay. Oh, we're getting there. Okay.
One more.
Kyle has one more. He's feeling himself.
Confidence. So, hybrid athletes, those are becoming big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have the examples of like the Chris Bumsteads or the after IFBB Pro individuals. They're like now moving their training more towards hybrid athletes. Mm-hmm. Do you think that in the fitness world, you know, take let's say the 90s, 80s, where let's just get as big as we possibly can, versus let's be functionally fit? Do you have an opinion on either of those things?
Well, I think functionally fit is the cornerstone, the best way to go. I mean, I don't practice what I preach. I need to do more functional training. I'm more of an old school meathead bodybuilder. But I think being functionally fit, especially as you age, mobility, that kind of stuff, tie that in with the bodybuilding is kind of the best of both worlds. I think you can do the hybrid and do both. Like you talked about Bumstead, he shows his training now is a lot different. That's the way to be most healthy. Mobility as far as you age and that kind of stuff. I think you need to do both, you know, strength train, mobility train. You know, if you have a certain sport you're training for, you can do specific training towards that sport. But I definitely think that training yourself to be healthy is not just doing curls and, I mean, it's better than nothing. Muscle mass is the number one anti-aging. Muscle mass. As you age, they're finding more muscle you have, the younger you are, the healthier you are. So that's the number one thing for men and women is muscle mass. And how you get muscle mass? Resistance training, eat enough protein, nutrition, and you'll build muscles. So that regardless how you do it, that's the number one thing they're talking about as far as anti-aging, longevity, health as we age. Because as we age, that muscle mass declines, and that's when you really see a sharp drop-off in health is when the muscle mass declines.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, I definitely like that training philosophy. I think more people need to train like that.
Do you think it's a situation where I'm mid-20s individual? Should they be focusing on, let me just see what I can do on the muscle building side? Maybe 80% of my time should be as much muscle building as I possibly can, then 20%. Let me try that. What do you think?
I just think it's a personal preference, honestly. I think personal preference is how you want to look, how you want to feel, how you want to perform. I feel like it's personal preference, and there's no right or wrong answer, because the good thing is we all have different goals, and I'm happy as long as people are moving and doing something positive. I really don't care what you do. Walk, play fucking tennis, anything. But you should be doing something active. That's what I encourage. Honestly, 7 days a week. There shouldn't be one day that you shouldn't do something productive, athletic-wise, whether it's lifting a weight, walking on a treadmill, walking outside, I'm just talking about basic shit, guys. Don't just sit on the couch all day and watch TV and eat food. Get up and move your body. And it sounds simple enough, but think about, are you actually doing that 7 days a week? Because there's no reason why not to. If you look back in olden times, we back in the day, that's all we did was move around and be active, and we were healthier. We're a lot healthier. Even 50, 100 years ago, before all this technology and shit sitting around, we're out being active, doing stuff. And you look at, obesity and weight back then, it was non-existent. Food was a lot better, and people were moving a lot more. Food is way more processed, and people are moving less. And look what happened. It's not rocket science.
True. I agree. It's like that Wall-E guy. Remember in that thing where he gets skinny and then fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter?
Yeah.
We're right in the middle of that.
And it's just, like I said, it's just going. It's crazy the way anti-aging and biohacking is going with, peptides and everything. The way it's going is crazy, because they're talking about in the next 5 years, people are going to be able to live to 120 years old.
On average?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's but the thing, what I'm conveying is, if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s right now, and the next 5 years are going to be stuff that's going to be able to prolong your life, you have to take care of yourself. You have to be active. You have to have muscle mass. You have to have lower fat on your frame. All that kind of stuff compounds into, if you're unhealthy now, can you imagine when you're 100 years old?
Oh,
it just compounds. So, I'm trying to live as long as possible, as healthy as possible. Like I said, I want to be there for my grandkids. I like to be there for my grandkids' grandkids. So it's for me, I used to want to be huge and strong. I still like to be strong, but it's more like we talked about in the other video in the gym the other day. It's more longevity.
Yeah.
So
I dig that. I think that was some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
We're a little over the board around.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think both of them have some very good value for people.
Like I said. And guys, like I said, this podcast, it's going to be us rapping. I'm going to have guests on it. I'm just going to be sure whatever I talk about is as real and raw and true to me as possible. That's why I went out of left field and started talking about that other stuff, because it's been on my mind, and I've been wanting to make a video about it. So I did. So if you want something real, follow us, share the podcast, DM us, give us ideas. We're here to answer questions. I appreciate you guys. We got another one coming next week. We out.